Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Age 40 Years. My name is Greg, and today we've got a product that, quite frankly, is one of those bourbons that was like a starter for me before it became impossible to find. And then, loved this bottle, E.H. Taylor Small Batch. Sorry, it was a little floaty. And then became impossible to find. I started trying other things, exploring and expanding my profile. I started on Basil Hayden, so one day I got to do a Basil Hayden review. But as I've, as I've tried other things, I think I've started to not rotate this in as much. Plus, the scarcity of it's been a challenge. Now that being said, E.H. Taylor Small Batch is starting to make a roaring comeback as far as its availability. So I thought, hey, let's revisit an old friend. I had to open one that I didn't have open, and let's give it a try. Let's review it. Let's see what we think. Does it hold up to 10 years ago, Greg's view of it, or I've had it in some blinds where it didn't do great. So I don't buy into the whole neck pour thing. I think that's bogus, but this is technically the neck pour, whatever. As a reminder, I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, provide feedback. Let me know. We're up over 100 subscribers, and that's pretty great. And just want to keep growing that and interacting with people. I got some really good interaction, and it's fun talking with people and positive feedback on my top bottles of 2025. So let's keep that rolling. Appreciate anybody who subscribes, comments, likes, anything like that. That really is. Again, I started this almost a year ago now to interact with the community of bourbon and whiskey drinkers. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Colonel E.H. Taylor Small Batch. As I mentioned, this has been very hard to find over the last few years. Buffalo Trace product, and they have expanded their production, and I think that's why we're seeing more of it. I also think, drinking has slowed, whiskey has slowed. You hear this doomsday whiskey stuff, but, I think a lot of people are happy to see this more regularly on the shelf. I do think it's one of the best bottle designs, one of the best labels. If you've had this and you know what I'm talking about, the feel of this label, the tackiness of it, it is one of the best bourbon label stickers ever made. It almost mimics a leathery look. Doesn't quite feel that way, but it just, if you were on mushrooms or acid or something, I bet that thing would feel great. But I just think it's a high quality label that they put on here. It is a $100 bottle, or $100, it might be, 100 proof bottled and bond product. This is a 750 milliliter product. One thing that I want to mention here is unrelated to the whiskey in here, but one of my favorite tours in Kentucky that I got to do was Castle and Key. And it's the old E.H. Taylor distillery. So, of course, it's now made by Buffalo Trace. They own that brand. But Castle and Key has an excellent facility that I think is worth going to check out if you're in Kentucky and doing the tour. Their gin is, if you like gin, I don't really like gin that much, but my goodness, their gin is good. They also taught me that I like tonic syrup. So Jack Rudy's tonic syrup out of Charleston, South Carolina is fantastic stuff. Also, I am wearing my Indiana sweatshirt. Indiana plays, for when I'm recording this, they play on Monday, which is a couple days away. This video will go up after the championship. So if they won, woohoo, champions. If they didn't win, well, what a great season, what a great run. But I do feel pretty confident that they will win, and I think by a fair amount. Miami has a great defense, though, so we'll see. If you're watching this, then you already know the outcome. And you can make fun of me if I am totally wrong. And I would appreciate that. So just be respectful. Let's go ahead back to the whiskey and get into it. This will be my last one with my Indiana sweatshirt on, but I want to represent the before and after. I also had a video come out reviewing the Old Fitz 9, which is now positioned back there. And, a couple bangers, or at least perceived bangers right in a row. So let's go ahead and get into the nose. Another reminder also is I just launched what I call Sip, Savor, Secure. It is a under 3-minute short video, like YouTube short style video, designed to just do quick reviews on things. And it's not in depth. You're not going to get a lot of tasting notes and other things. It's got to be under 3 minutes. I try and explain the bottle as best I can, but Already have the barrel New Year 2026 on there. But let me know if you like that format. If it's not comprehensive enough, I can look at revising it. But I thought that'd be a good way to just get some quick reviews out there. Some stuff that maybe I don't want to do like a full long form version like we're doing here. But I'd appreciate your feedback on that. But check out those if you want some brain rot. Now, onto the gut rot. Just kidding. Onto the whiskey. Nose. I think one of the things that's compelling about E.H. Taylor is it is just your classic traditional bourbon shelfer. If this is on the shelf, this is one that I always feel like I just got to have one around. So that if I just want to, they're not trying to do something creative or unique or different. They're just making bourbon, 100 proof, bottled and bond bourbon. And there's something about that I think is admirable. I also have a Buzzard's Roost bottled and bond that I think it would be a fun one to do like a side-by-side of. But look, this is a great nose on a small batch product. You know, this isn't a single barrel. This isn't the barrel proof. This is 100 proof. It's definitely some blended whiskey. But I think that nose is good. It's mellow. It's, you know, the thing is, it doesn't punch you with any, it's balanced, right? This is what Buffalo Trace is so good at. It doesn't punch you in the face with any particular note. It's not like, hey, I'm all oak. I'm all char. I'm all coconut. Nothing's all coconut, but you know what I mean? Oh, God, I did try some flavored whiskey yesterday, and it was called Pancakes and Bacon. Whew, God, y'all, I don't know who drinks that stuff. It's so bad. I was at the liquor store when I was buying that old Fitz, and I told the lady that was sampling it, hey, that's not so bad. But, oh, it was bad. It was really bad. I'm not going to name the name. I also don't remember it. But, not good. Nose here, the other thing about this nose is it's not like real heavy as far as, there's not a lot to pick out there. It's not a real powerful nose. Let's taste it. To me, immediately, I get the oakiness of this one. One thing I think that's maybe a little different than some of the other Buffalo Trace products is E.H. Taylor I don't think is as classically sweet as like a Buffalo Trace, an Eagle Rare, a Weller. I have an Elmer somewhere around here. Yeah, up there behind that little bike statue. It's not as in your face sweet, which is probably why it is still a preferred mash bill and profile to your typical bourbon drinker. So, you know, I feel like this one is a pretty solid, just straight bourbon, small batch offering. Now, what I tell you, okay, there's some vanilla, a little bit of baking spice in there too. Yeah, definitely some baking. Some like chicken broth flavor, like chicken stock. You know, I made some turkey stock after Thanksgiving, and I'm getting some of that. That's interesting. That's weird. Kind of salty, but in a good way. I mean, I think it's like a savory note in there that's pretty good, and I'm getting a lot of that on the finish now, mixed with some of that oak, but yeah, a real savory bourbon. This isn't sweet. It's nice to me. I mean, I think it's a savory profile there, and the finish is real savory. Now, heat on the back end, there's not a lot there. Again, very balanced, a very balanced product. I think when you look at what the price on this should be, I think I bought the bottle in front of me for $60, 60-ish. I think that's reasonable. I do think the MSRP is maybe a touch lower than that. So deal with that as you will. I think it might be a $50 MSRP. Oh, excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But you know, look, this is an entry level, real bourbon flavor. So this is, if you're, hey, I'm the sweet bourbon guy, and you're not quite ready to move on from a Basil, a Buffalo, some other things, this is more of your, hey, I am a oaky, vanilla, caramely, apparently chicken stock, turkey stock, just kind of savory bourbon. So I think it is a good progression. I think that's how it worked for me, right? I started with Basil Hayden, and then I ended up here. Loved this thing until I couldn't get it, and I wasn't willing to pay extra for it. Coming back to it, having tried so many other things, do I think it's good? Yeah. Do I think that it requires you to go stock up with 5 of them? Absolutely not. First off, I don't think that that's required anywhere. I think that's a bad idea. Don't, if you're going to back up a bottle, back it up with 1. Don't back it up with 5. That's how we get into these issues where, limited stock. That's how we got here with this. Is this a secondary product? Absolutely not. This is a great bourbon to give to somebody that's maybe making that transition from sweet to your more traditional flavors. I still like it. Do I think it's as great as the hype and demand justifies? No. What would I give it on a 1 to 5 scale? Again, I like to explore the take scale, which one day I'll put it up in a video, maybe right there, maybe right there. We'll see someday. Still working on my creativity skills, but I will say, I think that this one is probably a 6.5, and that's okay. That's okay. That's an okay score. I don't think that it's great. I don't think that it's worth the stockpiling that people have been doing. But I think it's also, the presentation is fantastic. The whiskey in there is good. And there's a lot of people out there that would like to have this bottle, try this bottle. So a great gifting bottle. If you can get one at a reasonable price, gift it to a friend. They'll really appreciate it. And, again, I think it's just, the supply is catching up. You're going to see it around more frequently. Definitely get one if you don't have one, but don't expect to be just absolutely socks knocked off, because I think, quite frankly, and maybe I'll make a video at some point of like, hey, here are the bourbons to hunt instead of this. But at the end of the day, go hunt this if that's what you want. I think there's a lot of great stuff out there, similar price point, that I would probably prefer. But this one, at the price point and the profile, this is a nice sipper. This is where this should land to me, is a sipper whiskey. The small batch is a sipper whiskey that you can keep around and drink anytime. You shouldn't be hoarding it to stockpile it. You shouldn't be taking your time with it necessarily, because I think you'll find it a lot more. So that's my review. Go Hoosiers. And as always, please drink responsibly, and cheers.